The main theme of our performance is to demonstrate the life cycle of a polar bear as well as the challenges that they face in the environment that they live in, more specifically the ice caps melting due to climate change. And in our performance, we have a few main acts that range from the life of a young polar bear as they grow into a larger polar bear, as well as demonstrating the difficulties in the environments that they live in. So our overall goal is to raise awareness regarding the issues that polar bears face with their ice caps, as well as offer a potential solution in the end of our performance.
We are Team Inmove Reloaded from Austria. Because we are participating virtually, the experience isn't the same. We were only online for the Zoom calls and had no connection to the live actions, except for the communication with the other teams in our super team. They integrated us as good as they could so we can be part of this event. We were communicating over Slack and had Zoom calls to talk about the latest topics. We personally made a new software routine to fit the planned performance. It was new for our robot to hold the microphone, and we also had to implement multi-threading so that he can talk and move at the same time. We also organized professional lab coats to act out our role as scientists.
So the supporting robots which were used to complement the performance of the humanoid robots were changed slightly, as in the LEDs surrounding the robots. We changed their code to give a much warmer colors of red, orange and yellow. This was done to show the global warming and how glaciers are melted across the earth. We also changed the humanoid robots, where one of them where there was a memo change where we used the female robot as a reporter, but we changed the movement slightly to showcase different movements as if a real reporter's moves. And also we changed the male robot. We removed the clothes which we had on it, and we made a costume of a small polar bear, and we fit it to show how the time goes on as how time passes on. Thank you.
Hi, we're the Gear Changers, and this is our technical video for the Super Team project. So, first I'm going to run through the mechanical changes we made. So over here we've completely revamped the humanoid and made it into a polar bear. We've taken our top box and mounted it on the front using some screws. We've also remounted the head to the front, and we've designed it in a costume to make it look like a polar bear. Additionally, we've extended the arms using some extra foam beams, and we've added some hands over here. Now let's move on to some other changes we made to the Indian team's robot. So over here we've created a whole costume for the baby cub, and we've added eyes, and we've added a costume around its waist. Over here we've also created a habitat for the polar bears using a suitcase covered by some white material, and we have a foam fish to use as a prop for the show. Now let's get into the electrical things. So the main thing we've done is we've added an HC05 Bluetooth module to our humanoid robot, and that allows us to communicate with the Indian team's robot over here. So as you can see over here, I have another HC05, and now during the show, our robot can communicate to their robot, and their robot can communicate to our robot, allowing us to have a solid communicating show. So thanks for watching. Here's our code for our drivetrain for the Super Team from the Gear Changer. So we set up our motors the same as before. What we've added is a serial.begin at 9600 to initialize the Bluetooth module communicating, and in loop we check if there's any data from the other serial monitor, and if the code sent is 1, we go through our pattern of movement so we can communicate with the other robot. Here's a code for our polar bear that sends a signal to our big polar bear. This is for the baby. And as you can see, it just sends a signal on the serial monitor, which is connected to our Bluetooth module, to the other robot after a set amount of time, which will change based on the performance.
Breaking news. Huge suffering is going on in the North Pole. The ice caps are melting, and the polar bears are losing their homes. Just take a look at all these greenhouse gases that damage the ice caps. Let us hear back from our friends from Austria to see how bad things really are.
send the ice sample that needs to be received. Ice sample has been received. Analyzing now. The sample is said to contain large amounts of CO2 and other chemicals that may cause it to melt rapidly. The ice must be sought after. Otherwise, the polar bears will be doomed.
Thank you. Now let's see the life of a polar bear in such terrible conditions.
Would be a very major problem, so we have found a solution. Here is the model for a possible cooling tunnel with an amazing efficiency of 120%. This could save the bears from dying.